YouTube and on Wildcats Radio 1290. We're going to take a look at the Utah Utes. Joining us right now is Clark Phillips III. Utah last year won 8-1, 10-4. And by the way, I don't know, has anybody congratulated you on being Pac-12 champion so far this year?
Yep, a lot of people, man. It was definitely something that we'll never ever forget, man. It was a big year for us, big season, and we finished it strong.
Clark Phillips III joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Last year, you beat Arizona 38-29. Probably a tougher game than a lot of people thought. You will take on Arizona November 5th. So let's talk about what you learned throughout that championship Rose Bowl team. What was the biggest takeaway for you as you evaluate yourself after the season's over?
Great question. I think it was first off, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It was a great season. And I take probably the biggest thing for me was like the mental toughness aspect. You know, the team camaraderie. Like we gained so much in terms of just strength mentally because we went through a lot. You know, early in the season. You know, from tragedy to losing. We started off losing. We had to really battle back, man, and the team, you know, showed a great amount of grit and strength, and really just an ability to not be denied. Like in the end of the season, man, it was like we had a decision to make. Like, how do we want to finish it? And it was like when we got to the championship, we didn't walk away sad. We didn't want to walk away sad, man.
What's the difference between being the hunter, which Utah's traditionally been in this conference? Now you guys are the hunted. You're the team that everybody circles. I mean, listen, I got it right here. I got your schedule. I got you circled. Everybody looks to Utah. They give it your best every time.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a special feeling because, you know, it's a ton of respect with that, right? But also it's like, okay, you got to find a way to. I saw someone else talking about not being complacent. You got to find a way to keep that edge, to keep that drive, and to really just keep the team locked in and motivated because, you know, as we know, it's a long season, and if you're not locked in for one game, you can slip up.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your defense. What's going to be the strength of the defense for Utah this year?
I think everywhere, man. I feel like all of our entire defense, we have so many guys that are, you know, not only returning, but we have strength just in the numbers, and then we have good depth. I love the fact that we have depth because it gives our, you know, coaches, you know, basically just, you know, the confidence and like, okay, we can play with guys, and then also our play calling. I love Coach Scally, man. He calls a great defense every single game, and he puts us in great positions constantly.
The depth, I think, is going to be one of the strengths for Utah. I mean, if you look at that defensive backfield room, you guys have enough chairs because you got a ton of guys who can play.
Right. You know, we've had, I think, you know, 5 to 6 guys that we believe that, you know, can play, and 5 guys that have already played in games, you know, in significant games. A lot of it due to injury last year, but I mean, we've got guys, man, and so that's where, you know, I can place my hat on the fact that I feel confident with anybody, you know, in that corner room playing.
All right, so I got to ask you, when you guys are practicing and you're going up one offense, one defense, you guys going back against each other. Tell me about Cam Rising. Tell me about going. I mean, listen, iron sharpens iron, right? So if you're going against him all the time, tell me what that's like.
It's special, man. I'll be honest. We don't really talk as much trash to each other. I talk a little bit of trash to our receivers.
Okay.
But we're both probably like, you know, we're the main guys that are like talking. He's got a personality. I've got a personality. But it's special, man, because you know the level that he plays at. I try to play at a high level as well.
Does he bring out the best in you?
Nah, most definitely. I know that if I'm a step behind or a second late, you know, or half a second late even, you know, he's getting that ball there, you know. And so just knowing that is like when we go play against somebody else on Saturday, I know that in my mind, I got the best quarterback. And shoot, man, he's making me better every day.
Okay, so I do have to ask you. So I passed you guys yesterday walking on the street.
Yeah.
Right. I'm walking. I think it was in front of Yard House, and you guys were coming back from having dinner somewhere.
Yeah.
Dude's got swagger.
Yeah.
Dude looks like Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean. What's he like? Is that swagger come through all the time?
Nah, most definitely, man. The dude's got swag. He knows he's the guy. That's what's special about him, you know. But also he's humble. Like, you know, that's what, you know, a lot of guys, you know, maybe don't have. I feel like that he has. He's got that humbleness to him, but it's also layered with, you know, a significant amount of confidence, and that's a special thing because he's able to build you up as a teammate while making, you know, like, man, this is a guy. Like,
he might have the best hair here. Right?
Yeah, I guess I can agree with that. I told him we were doing photo shoots yesterday. I told him, I'm like, man, I got waves. You know, I brushed my hair. I got waves. I was like, you got the waves. You know, he's just got the flow. You know, it's smooth. You know, and I'm like, he's like, I can go with that CP. You know?
Oh, that's awesome. Clark Phillips III joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290 as we get ready for the Pac-12 season. Let's walk through the schedule for just a second. You guys, it's going to start tough, man. Because now I'm not going to ask you about realignment because I don't think that's fair to you as a student athlete. You didn't have anything to do with that. But we now have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder in this conference, right? So you have to represent first game out of the season. You're going to the Swamp. They're going to play that Tom Petty song. They're going to be doing the chop. And you're going to be repping the West Coast of the Pac-12. I live down there. So I used to tell all those folks down in the Southeast Conference country, that's great. But if you guys were that good, we call you the Conference of Champions. Talk about carrying our banner down to Southeastern Conference country for that opener against Florida.
You know, man, I think it's going to be special because everyone and I people before now, and they were telling us, how well respected, and it's not a secret how respected the SEC country is, and I think it'll be a good way for us to just kind of show that, hey, we deserve some of that love as well. Not that we don't get it, but I think Pac-12 champs, man, we're gonna come ready to play, and we're gonna come ready to, to make some noise, and we're gonna be excited to do it in front of what? We have 100,000 people there.
It's crazy. It's one of the loudest places I've ever been, and I've called a couple games there, and those Gator fans are they're nuts.
Yeah, that's what I hear, and so that's what we're excited for, man.
It's fun. It's
on a big stage.
Right. And in fact, it's going to be a late game too, so that's going to be fun. Because I'm looking through the schedule: Florida, Southern Utah. They're going to bring it because that's back home bragging rights. San Diego State wants in this conference like nobody else's business, so you know that they're going to bring it. You play USC in Utah coming up October. We're going to come. Arizona's going to come to town November 5th, and then the schedule. The other thing I have circled on the schedule is Oregon coming up on the 19th. I mean, listen. Now that you're the defending Pac-12 champions, you went to the Rose Bowl. Everybody's going to bring it.
Yeah. Now it's like that's what me and Cam always talk about. It's like we have to circle every game. Some teams are circling one team. One game. It's like we feel like okay, we can't skip a beat. We can't skip a game. Because otherwise, we're live at any moment, and we've got to take everybody serious because we know everyone's going to bring their A game for us, right? And so that's the exciting thing about it. It's like, all right, now we got to do this every week.
All right, let me ask you one last thing. Talk to me about your coach. Listen, we were talking last time. Think of all the things that he's seen and how this program has grown over the last 10 years being in the Pac-12. Talk to me about Coach.
Man, he's a special man. He's a special guy. He's definitely tenured. He's definitely been around a while, and you can see it just in his experience, his expertise, and the ability to, convey a message during a season like last season and to keep the team together. I think that's where a lot of his value is, like his ability to keep the team, united and fighting strong. Like that was just so special. Like that's where I gained so much respect for Coach Witt. I already had a ton of respect for him, but gained a lot of it just, seeing how he was able to navigate through difficult situations with us and keep the team together and keep the team locked in on one goal, right?
I'm just a fat radio guy. I'm out of shape. I'm an old man. I sat down with him last year. I was ready to go out and start running stadiums. I want to run through a wall. I mean, it's got to be intense being with him every day.
His ability to motivate guys is one of nine. It's different. It's just, it's in his own unique way. Goes hand in hand with his personality and his just ability to keep guys locked in, focused, grinding, whether it's week 1 or week 10. Keep guys like, oh, man, we're still hungry. We're still fighting. We're not close to the goal, but yet we're close. It makes us feel like, we just got to go out there and dominate every single play.
Wow. I appreciate you coming by and spending some time with us. What did I miss? Is there anything I missed that I need to know about Utah football?
Man, we're coming to be repeat champions.
See, I got one of my best friends, one of my fraternity brothers, one of my roommates from college, Brian Stiefvater, lives in Salt Lake City, and all I hear him in my ears, look how good the Utes are, look how good the Utes are, and I think he's as pumped up for Utah football as I've ever seen him, and I think the state of Utah is pumped up for you guys to have a great season.
We appreciate that. We just got to continue to, chug away, plug along, and just take it day by day and game by game, man. And I think we can do something special.
I need you to do something special. When you go out to Gainesville, I need you to rep us, right? I need you to rep us. I need you to come back with a W. That way I can call my friends back in Florida and go, I told you, Conference of Champions, brother.
Yeah, we're going to try to do that for you, man. We're going to work hard, and we're going to go down there to Gainesville, and we're going to represent the West Coast very strong.
All right, you'll see our Arizona Wildcats coming up on November 5th in Salt Lake City. We've had a great conversation with Clark Phillips III, our special guest here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
I appreciate